Hi guys, welcome back to my astrology channel. If you're new here, my name is Jacqueline Gibson and I am a professional traditional astrologer. Today we will be taking a look at the upcoming full moon in Leo, which will happen on Wednesday, February 12th. With the sun in Aquarius and the moon in Leo, we may find ourselves at odds with what the group wants or what the group needs are versus what our individual wants and needs are. This week, we might find ourselves at like a crossroads between liberation or freedom and ourselves, our selfhood, our being individuals. The intensity of the challenge this week is coming from a square between both the sun and the moon and the planet Uranus. The square aspect is always somewhat challenging, and the planet Uranus is also challenging. What this one is saying is it's a time to be bold, to be honest about how we really want to express ourselves, what we really want to say, even if the group might not be in agreement with us. We're just not taking restriction very well at this time, and that's okay. That aspect is indicating that the truth is going to come out. So we can sit in like a lot of discomfort and try to bury the truth, or we can choose to consciously express it as best we can. Any outdated facades in our life are going to have to go. We'll lose patience. If we're tolerating the intolerable right now, we're going to lose patience with that. So we feel compelled to be sincerely who we are and to say sincerely what we mean and to be who we feel we truly are. So this full moon is going to speak to a call for liberation in some area of all of our lives. This full moon is also indicating a time where, ready or not, we must acknowledge what we need to let go of. And we're looking at things like fear, outdated beliefs, emotions that are blocked in some way, any kind of projections from other people, things like that, just they have to go. Whatever barriers are coming between us and being who we truly are, saying what we really mean, those things are going to show up abruptly, almost rudely. But this full moon is like, it has to happen. It has to go now. So the moon in Leo speaks to not backing down. It speaks to courage. It speaks to being brave. It lends us that. So if you're feeling like there's an area of your life where you're needing that, where maybe you've let things go for too long, you've been taken for granted for too long, that's likely the part of your life where the full moon will be rocking the boat. So it's a good time to remember that uncomfortable isn't always wrong or bad. If this ludation gets uncomfortable for you, try to remind yourself of times in your life where things got really uncomfortable, shaken up, feeling like it's that feeling of, I was prepared to tolerate this, and circumstances have come up that have made that choice impossible. So try and remember other times in your life where that happened and the outcome was good. The experience might have been uncomfortable, but the outcome was exactly what you needed. Because this is likely what this full moon is talking about. So now let's take a look at what this full moon is going to look like for you based on your rising sign. If you have Leo rising, the moon is in your first house, and this house represents your mind, your character, your body, your vitality overall, how you show up in the world. It's your space just right here. Just it's you. So you might find yourself questioning how you present yourself to the world. And if there are things about yourself that you hide, those are the things that may come out at this time. And we're not talking about things that are like, this is a boundary, I don't share this with everyone. We're talking more about things that are blocking you, that are uncomfortable. Ways that you may be presenting yourself that suffocate who you feel you truly are. And so this full moon is giving you the courage to let go of whatever reason you had for doing that and just be yourself. It could be helpful to look at what insecurities are holding you back, where those insecurities have come from, and if they're even really yours. A lot of times we take on the insecurities of other people or of society in general, and then we take on a behavior to match that insecurity, and over time realize that we don't need that. It's not even anything we feel insecure about. So take a look for that right now, because if there's something that is blocking you from being who you are, and it's not even yours, it's not even a part of you, it's not even a worry of yours, let it go. Just be you. If you have Cancer rising, the moon is in your second house, and the second house represents financial stability, how we value ourselves, our self-worth, and what we value. So right now, you're likely to feel a heightened awareness about the things that you value, whether that's because you feel like the things that you value are threatened in some way, or your needs have shifted, and those shifts require letting go of some old either stuff or beliefs about money. It's a good time to let those things go, to make room for whatever's coming next. Whatever these shifts are, they're bringing something new and require that you let go of the old. So this is a good time for letting go of anything that you hold on to because you believe it's a part of who you are. And that after you think about it, it's really not. It's stuff. It doesn't define you. And by letting those things go, you get to see how valuable you actually are. Look for any opportunities for accumulating material wealth that do align with who you are and that do make you feel more valuable. So it can look like also that we're doing a job that doesn't make us feel valuable, and so the money isn't worth it. We're just engaging in something that maybe brings us money, but doesn't allow us to feel good about ourselves. And so the money doesn't actually help us get our needs met. It's weird how sometimes less money can actually bring you more of what you need when you're faced in the right direction. You're doing the things that actually bring you happiness. It's weird, but it happens sometimes. And if this shows you something like that, then this is the time to go for it. Or at least to start to take steps towards it, whatever that looks like for you and whatever works best for your life. If you have Gemini rising, the Leo moon is in your third house. The third house is all about communication and networking, and it can also be about sibling relationships. But this full moon is saying that where those things are concerned, you want to be who you truly are, be honest with yourself and others, and have like real conversations that mean something to you. It's a good time for sharing what you really think with those who are closest to you. Might not immediately bring about an outcome that you're looking for, but this is again a moon where it's like we're letting go of the fears, we're being who we are, we're letting the chips fall where they may, and somehow in the end this works out for us. And that might just look like, you've been holding on to a way of expressing yourself that just doesn't work anymore. And whatever that is, that's the thing that needs to change. That's the thing that's shifting right now. And it's okay to just let that happen, because it's never a bad thing to be yourself, to say what you mean. There may be somebody around you who really needs to hear it. If you have Taurus rising, the moon is in your fourth house. The fourth house is all about home and family. It can be about our parents, and it can be either like my physical house that I live in, the place where I live, or it can be like my emotional center, what is home to me. So it's possible right now that you might feel a need to be more honest with the people in your family or the people who are in your home right now. And that again could include your parents. But there's some kind of fear that has been blocking that. And that's the thing that's going to show itself right now. Whatever that block to being myself and saying what I mean, whatever that block is, that's what's causing disruption right now. And so when you take a deep breath and you let that go, what does that look like for you? How does that change how you connect with other people, the people in your home, your parents, your family? This can also look like your home actually shifting. So if you're thinking about moving, this could be a good time to start looking for a place. If you are actually moving, this is a good time for it. And you're looking for something that, again, that really represents you. So if this causes conflict with someone in your life, like there is a difference of opinion about what the next right home is, you're likely to not back down right now about what it is you want. And that is absolutely okay. Of course, we always want to remember to be kind in how we stand up for ourselves. But whatever the issue is around home that is encouraging you to stand up for yourself at this time, this is a place where you want to practice that. I can say what my needs are, what I really need, what I really want, what is truly me, without being cruel or hurting anyone. That is possible. It's important to remember that standing up for myself doesn't mean I'm necessarily being nasty to somebody or I'm taking something from someone else. Sometimes it's just time. So just with kindness, put your foot down. If you have Aries rising, the moon is in your 5th house. The 5th house pertains to children in our lives. It pertains to how we creatively express ourselves, what we're passionate about, what we love, what brings us joy, and can also be about romance. The 5th house is a good house, but it appears through this full moon, which is a little not fun. So you have a moon that isn't behaving in a way that is fun, going through your house of fun. What it's probably showing you is what blocks you from having a good time. What blocks you from having fun with your children? What blocks you from having a good time or enjoying what you create or being creative? It's just basically about removing whatever is blocking your joy, whatever's blocking your happiness, whatever's blocking you from experiencing things in a fun way. And so why not let that go? It might present itself in a way that is uncomfortable, but try to keep in mind that that's the purpose here. Whatever this uncomfortable thing is, it's getting in the way of me enjoying my life, experiencing passion, having a good time. So might as well let it go. If there is a place in your life where fun has become the burden, that will also show itself right now. And that may be the thing that needs to be removed. If you have Pisces rising, the moon is in your 6th house. And the 6th house is all about self-care, our health, our work environment, and our daily routines. So this full moon could be showing you what is blocking you from, first of all, taking good care of yourself, from feeling healthy, or from a daily routine that serves you. So if your daily routine has become too laid back, too restful, then what is the block that keeps you from getting up and enjoying life? And that might be the thing that needs to be tweaked or removed or let go of. And on the flip side of that, if your daily routine has become a burden, so much so that it's wearing you down, it's making you feel like you don't have time to care for yourself, what needs to be removed there? And if in the place where you work, there's something just toxic happening, then there may be some kind of change that you need to make to your work environment. Sometimes that looks like quitting your job, but oftentimes it just looks like setting some boundaries with someone. And setting boundaries does not mean that I have to tell you everything that you do wrong. It can just mean no, just no. I'm not talking to this person, or I'm not sharing myself with this person. Sometimes connecting with my true self means I no longer share space with people who I don't feel healthy around, who I don't feel good around. And so if that's the case for you, this is a good time to use the courage that a Leo moon brings to change what your day-to-day looks like. If you have Aquarius rising, the moon is in your 7th house. And often when we're talking about letting go, and the 7th house, the 7th house rules partnership, relationships, and it's usually like our significant one-on-one relationships. When we talk about those things together, people immediately jump to, oh my God, my relationship's going to end. And it doesn't necessarily mean that. A lot of times it's something in the relationship needs to end, whether that's some kind of dynamic between the two of you that's been going on for too long that doesn't serve either one of you individually or the relationship as a whole. That's the thing that needs to go. So this full moon is creating space for a new beginning in your relationship. So whatever uncomfortable thing comes up, just keep that in mind. If you've been feeling like stagnant in your relationship, or that there's something that just, it's been going on too long, it's got to end, this has to stop, that's the thing that's likely to come up. And try to imagine, like, if it's been uncomfortable, then good, go. I don't need this in my life anymore. And even if that process does not look like a lot of fun, it will be worth it in the end. If it's coming up right now, it needs to come up. So if you have any fears around what that process looks like you've imagined maybe what a conversation is going to look like, or whatever the change is that's going on between you and your partner right now, if picturing that change, that conversation has looked like something that just isn't worth it, that's too uncomfortable, I don't want to do that. If it's coming up right now, that solution isn't going to work. Just not doing it isn't going to work. Also, if you're not in a committed relationship, whoever your partner is, sometimes we have like a work spouse. It could be that person, or it could be that something is coming up for you right now that you need to let go of in order to be in a partnership in a way that's healthy for you. So whatever that thing is, just remember that facing it honestly, being true to yourself, and walking through it with courage, that might be new to you. That's okay. Not that courage is new to you, but in this one area, having courage and facing it and walking through it, that might be new. That might not be the way that you've handled this situation in the past. That's okay. You can still do it. If you have Capricorn rising, the moon is in your 8th house, and this house is about intimacy. It's about shared resources. It's about vulnerability. It can be about trauma and anxiety as well. This house also rules like money and like other people's money and taxes, grants, things like that. So this is a good time to let go of any old wounds that might be blocking you. It's a good time for psychological growth. And the first step to that is identifying and becoming ready for, preparing for letting go of anything that is causing me harm or is the root of a behavior that causes me harm, and being ready to say, I've had enough, that has to go. So the moon being in Leo offers you courage where this is concerned, and that can help a lot with engaging in looking for what this wound is. If you've had any fears around your taxes as well, I mean, it is tax time. So if you have any fears about doing taxes or some distrust around the person who does your taxes, this is a good time to face that as well. The full moon showing up in your 8th house is just an opportunity. Whatever comes up, as uncomfortable as it might be, it's fleeting. You know, it's a week-long transit. So allow it to come and allow it to show you what needs to be released, what needs to go. Because the end result is that you will be more able to connect more deeply with other people. And, when you choose to do that, that can't be a bad thing. If this brings up areas where you're experiencing distrust, that might not be out of, a fear of vulnerability. That might be a healthy thing. That might be like, this is not someone I can trust. We don't want to let people in our lives that we don't trust. So it's not urging you to use vulnerability to connect with someone that you don't feel like you trust. It's urging you to ask yourself, why don't I trust this person? What is blocking me from trusting them? And is this serving me? It could be saying no, like that instinct of don't trust this person. And that's a good thing. We need to honor that. We need to follow that and do right by ourselves where things like that are concerned sometimes. But other times, this is about a repeating pattern where either when I get too close to somebody, I feel like I need to run away or back off in some way or shut down in some way. And that in the end does not serve me. If that's the case, then that's something that we want to take a look at so that we can experience being closer to other people when we choose to. If you have Sagittarius rising, the moon is in your 9th house. The 9th house is all about travel, expanding your horizons, expanding your philosophy, the lens that you see the world through. This can also be about education and possibly opportunities for education. So right now you might have opportunities cross your path to travel or to broaden your horizons in whatever way, whether that's school or taking a trip or participating in some type of spiritual group that like expands your beliefs about spirituality somehow. Whatever the opportunity is that comes up, there may be something that blocks you from that does not serve you, that doesn't help you grow as a person. It's not protecting you from anything. It's just getting in your way of doing things that you want to do to expand your horizons, to grow. And so if that's the case, you want to let go of whatever that thing is that's standing in your way. You might also be exposed to like different cultures or belief systems right now. And those things may have felt foreign to you in the past. If the feeling of being different from me is the only block and everything else there looks good, you want to try to take that uncomfortable step towards embracing something that might be foreign to you, but isn't harmful to you in any way. So this time is all about expanding your understanding of the world around you. So when that comes up, just remember to go with it. If you have Scorpio rising, the moon right now is in your 10th house. And the 10th house is all about career, your public persona, who you are for the rest of the world, who you are in public versus how you may be different at home. So the moon might be shaking things up to create an opportunity for advancement in some way, or to create an opportunity that's more honestly and truly you and what you actually are good at or want to do. So you want to just be looking for that right now. This also might be a time when you're changing your public persona, you're growing in some way, you're becoming more visibly confident, or just visibly comfortable with yourself. So whatever blocks you from being that person, from being comfortable with yourself, that's going to show itself right now. And that's the thing that you want to let go of because it's stopping you from growing in that public space, if that makes sense. You might also find yourself in a space where you are confronting authority in some way, or someone who is an authority figure in your life. You want to just be cautious of doing anything that can cause discomfort in your own life, that however you're taking a stand, it's not harmful to you. And while you're avoiding harm, you still want to remember that this is important, that you stand up for yourself, that you not back down, because this time for you is all about getting free from any limitations that block you from really like showing up in the world as you and doing what you're here to do. So that's a necessary thing. You just want to exercise caution, healthy caution around doing anything that brings blowback on you. If you have Libra rising, the moon is in your 11th house. The 11th house is all about the groups that we align with. It's who my people are. That could, for you, that could mean your community, your church, your school, your neighborhood. It could be people that you align with in some kind of activity. It can even be like social media groups. Whatever that is for you, something is coming up that kind of says, are these really my people? And is this good for me? Because remember, this full moon is all about differentiating between the group and the self. And so have I become different when I'm with a certain group in such a way that it's affecting who I am as an individual? And if it's affecting me negatively, is that something I want to continue with? Is that a group that I want to continue to align myself with? The 11th house also sometimes speaks to internet groups or the information that we get on the internet. And so this could just be a time when I'm like, I've had enough of social media. I've had enough of hearing everybody's opinion. I need a break. This is a great time to do one of those, internet cleanses or social media cleanses where I'm just going to put my phone down for a certain number of hours during the day if I feel like I've been engaging too much. Maybe there are parts of your life that you feel like, I usually enjoy these things and I find myself just staring at my phone all the time. How much could I let my phone go today? It doesn't mean throw your phone in the trash or set it on fire. It just means, maybe there are times when it would be better if it wasn't there, if you weren't engaging with your phone and instead you were engaging with people. I'm definitely not saying that that's a problem for you. We all do it once in a while where we just find ourselves too much on our phone. This might just be saying like, take a break for a little while. And it's saying take a break, not to say like you're bad because you spend too much time on your phone or too much time on social media. It's saying take a break because you don't want to miss something. There's something else good happening. And it could be the social media outlet is blocking you from enjoying something in your life. So it's okay to put it down for a little while. Just see what that is. Also, if there's anything that blocks you from participating in a group, some kind of insecurity or some kind of old fear that's outdated, that may be the thing too that you need to let go of so that you can fully engage in a group and show up as who you truly are, which would obviously help you to enjoy it more fully. If you have Virgo rising, this full moon is happening in your 12th house. The 12th house is all about introspection. It's about dealing with unconscious issues, old fears, old feelings that are still hanging on. It can also be about sabotage from others or self-sabotage. So with a full moon in the 12th house, it's likely to bring up hidden fears or things that we just don't deal with. So what's brought up at this time is something that's saying like, hey, it's time to work through this, to face this, to take whatever action needs to be taken around this. So the good news about that is that there's a profound opportunity for growth here. And with the Pluto transit that's happening in the opposite house, it's like giving you this opportunity to deal with something that may be kind of scary in like small pieces versus like this overwhelming like flood of confusing, unconscious fears or behaviors or motivators, whatever the case may be for you. You also want to watch at this time for, like, if you're feeling ill or you're feeling just really tired, really weighed down, that's meant to be like a hint to you, like, hey, it's come up and you're not handling it. You're pushing it back down. It's causing exhaustion for you in your actual physical body. So it's not like a huge scary transit at all. It's just a full moon. We have them all the time. And again, that's why, like with a smaller transit, that's a really good time to deal with whatever hidden fears come up in your day-to-day. It's like small bites instead of eating the whole sandwich all at once, which is very uncomfortable, if that makes sense. So this is a good time just to remind yourself that we can't let go of what we haven't faced yet. And if the goal is to let it go, so whatever this is, it doesn't cause me to sabotage myself or cause me to attract people into my life who want to sabotage me. Obviously, whatever's causing that kind of discomfort, that's something we want to let go. So the first step to that would be facing that it's sitting right in front of you. I hope that makes sense. Just remember that whatever it is, it can't eat you. It's just a full moon. It'll pass. Just make sure you use it to your advantage. Thank you so much for watching today. For all of you who have subscribed in the last month or so, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to do so. I hope you heard something here that will help you next week with this full moon. Take really good care of you.